What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the pond series, go back and check out all the other videos. You can see the progress from when this was just a field right here to now we actually have a pond and we actually have some fish in it. The water's cleaning up. So we're going to walk through all of the changes since the last video. I've done some work. We've had some help do some work as well and kind of clean things up a little bit. And it's getting closer and closer to being time to catch the first fish out of it. And it's almost time to put some bass in there, but pretty cool. Finally, the water is cleaned up. So that's something we're excited about. And yeah, we're going to give you a little walkthrough and show you everything that's been going down here at the pond. So I can't remember exactly when the last update was that we gave you guys, but I think it was right after we stocked the fish. You know, the lake was full. The lake filled up really quick. I say lake, it's a pond, but it's cool to call it Lake Matt. That's what Brittany's been calling it. But so the last update, I believe that it had just filled up. We had just put some fish, so we stocked some bluegill and some fathead minnows in here. So we stocked 50 pounds of fathead minnows and 500 bluegill and 700 red ear. Now, since then, I've gone down to the lake and I don't know how they ended up in here, wink, wink, but there's a few bigger bluegill that have showed up in the pond that may or may not have been caught. But so it's pretty cool to see, you know, now that the water's cleaned up, I can actually see what's going on down there, and the bluegill are actually spawning right now as we speak. So we got a few bluegill beds over here. We'll try and get some footage of them. You know, this is kind of the gravel that I was planning on using for the boat ramp if we ever decide to launch the boat here. But it looks like the bluegill have taken over. And then in addition to that, I've put out a few small areas of pea gravel, and that's something that I'm going to continue to do as well. I'm going to put out a few more because I put out some pea gravel and within 24 hours, the bluegill were on it. So pretty cool to see that and see them spawning and so active in the pond, flourishing. Now, the fathead minnows, man, those things have really spawned, you know. Can't really quite see it. Yeah, you can see a few right now, but man, there is little tiny minnow fry everywhere. So those fatheads have been spawning. They've been putting in some work and really reproducing and got a ton of bait in the pond. And that's really what we were going for here this year. You know, this pond filled up in March. So basically, this entire year is to get the bait fish established. That's what we're shooting for, is to get the bluegill flourishing, spawning, and the minnows flourishing and spawning all sorts of different year classes of fish. Now, we do have a fish feeder over there. Let's head over there, see if we can get any action on the fish feeder, show any fish that may come up. But you guys can see the water is cleaned up. There used to be a big pile of dirt right here. I've actually moved that up to the house. It was kind of more of the topsoil here, and we got some grass growing in that already, but this is kind of cleaned up a little bit here. I'm not done with this yet. I still got to smooth it out a little bit, but this will be a nice smooth sloping hill here on the edge of the pond. Now, the other situation we've run into here as of late is this is really the first stretch that it's been super hot and no rain. We haven't had rain in 10 days and it's been pushing 100 degrees every single day. So I wasn't sure what the water level would do and things like that, but it stayed pretty steady. Now it's definitely dropped a little bit since it hasn't rained. You know, it has dropped to about the lowest that I've ever seen it since it's filled up, but it seems to be holding steady and doesn't seem like we have too many leaks anyway. So it seems like things are pretty good on that. You know, it's not draining very fast if it is leaking anywhere. So that's just something that we'll kind of pay attention to as the summer goes on and, you know, see how the water level drops. You know, I've been putting sticks at the water line pretty much every day I come down here to kind of track the progress and see what it's doing. And it hasn't got below the lowest level just yet. So hopefully we continue to stay full pull, and we get some rain coming in. So let's head over to the feeder and send out some food and see what the fish do over there. So another addition I don't think that we had on the last video was this creek ditch right here. Thankfully our neighbor Andrew had a big excavator and he was helping us out with another project. I was like, man, we really need a creek so this water doesn't rush everywhere, keeps everything contained. But one little bonus that we found with digging this little creek was this little pond right here, just kind of a puddle, and the frogs found it. We have tadpoles everywhere. I don't know if you guys can see them in there, but there is literally hundreds of tadpoles in this little pond. Now, this water was much higher, and it's since dropped without all the rain, so hopefully we get a little rain for the tadpole's sake. But man, pretty soon we are going to have frogs everywhere around this area. It's much cleaner now. You can actually see all these rocks. You know, we knew these rocks were here, but you really weren't able to see them with the dirty water. But now you can see all those rocks. It is extremely clean now, that's for sure. Okay, here we go with some food. Let's send some food out and see if anybody's home. You know, this has been, it took a little while for a lot of the fish to find the feeder. The minnows found it right away, but the bluegill, it took a little while. They're already blowing up out there. There's some right here by the shore. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but there is bluegill everywhere around the feeder now. This is good news. There's a lot of the baby fatheads right there. We'll give them a couple things to chew on. Look at all the babies in there. Look at all of them out there. There are so many bluegill. We knew they were out there somewhere, but we just couldn't quite see them. They're growing up. They have grown substantially since we've stocked them in here. You know, when we stocked them, they were 1.5 to 2.5 inches, and now they're looking basically doubled their in size, if not more. You know, some of them look to be 3 or 4 inches. There's so many of them out there. They're so dainty. Look how they'll just swim up, look at it, and then you can see the stump over there. You can see this whole flat. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on the camera, but with the water being clean, you can actually see this whole shallow flat right here, and then it drop off down into the basin. You can see everything that is actually under there now, which is really cool. You know, you can see the brush pile. Obviously, you can see the stick sticking out of the water, but you can see the brush down in the water. You can see the stumps that we put down in there, the big rock right here. It's really cool to see everything, exactly where everything is now, and know exactly where those fish, the bass, are going to be hiding once we get some bass in here. So that will be the next step at some point, you know. Got to let these bait fish grow up and flourish. But we wanted to bring you guys a quick little pond update video. It's been a little while, and there's been a bunch of you guys asking about what's going on with the pond. And here we go. We got a little update on the pond. And yeah, I'm excited about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said earlier, if you haven't seen the progress of the pond, go back and watch the whole series where you can literally see this from, like I said, this was a field here before, to now we have a pond with a bunch of fish in it. So it's pretty cool to see the progress. I find myself going back and watching them just to kind of see what was here to what is here now. It's really cool to see the progress and see how everything's going. So appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Leave me those likes, comments, good stuff down below. As always, if you got any suggestions for the pond, any advice, any of that kind of stuff, make sure to let us know. But we'll see you guys next time.